Congratulations, graduates, on your well-deserved success. To represent the graduates, we now have Maimoona and Areeb to say a few words regarding their experiences throughout high school.
والآن مع بضع الكلمات التي تمثل خريجين وتجاربهم الحياتية، أريب وميمونة.
Good evening, all faculty, teachers, friends, family, distinguished guests, and everyone else that can be crammed into a video conferencing call. Well, the moment's here. The moment we were all so anxiously looking forward to, for who knows how long, is finally among us. I remember being the host of the graduation ceremony for the last year's batch and thinking to myself, we're graduating in 2020, such an aesthetic number. Our graduation is going to be iconic, something that will be remembered throughout the years and stand out. Guess I was wrong about that. Nevertheless, I want to start my speech off by congratulating each and every graduate that is present here and by saying that we have indeed made it. Now, I know we might not be walking across the stage and grabbing that diploma or throwing our hands up or taking pictures with our friends or our family. I mean, I wasn't even able to make the diploma shooting session that happened a few days ago. Imagine missing out on your graduation because your sister's watching the latest episode of The 100 or your mom's in a competitive game of Candy Crush. This makes me grateful for being able to reflect back on the 20th of February, the only date that comes to my mind when I think of graduation. Yes, I'm talking about the day we took our pictures, our class photos, the day we snapped pictures with our friends, family, everyone close to us, the day we wore our gowns, our hats, and whatever this thing is for the first time, the day we had our choo-choos echoing through the halls, the day I won't ever forget. So yes, even though we might not be having our typical graduation, we're still graduating. We're still a part of a global community of students, millions of students just like us, who are wrapping up a chapter of their lives and starting a new one. I can't express what I mean better than the words of street poet and philosopher Cardi B, who said, and I quote, "It's more than a diploma, it's more than graduation. Now you're about to start your life." Amazing words. Just remember, your hard work, it has not gone unnoticed. Now, I know you might be feeling uncertain, but mark these words. COVID-19 will not stand in the way of your hard work and dreams. Although, you might want to figure out what those hopes and dreams are. For example, will you go into medical? Will you go for computer science? Will he pull out another field at the last minute and convince himself and the friends around him that that's his final decision, thereby shattering and crushing the hopes and dreams of the friends closest to him? We'll never know. But what I do know for certain is that whatever path it may be, I know each and every one of you is going to absolutely crush it. How do I know that? Because if you've grown up and learned in the same environment that I have, if you've had the same teachers and the same faculty behind your back, I don't see how you wouldn't. I'm one of the few students that has been in the school since the very beginning. And it makes me thankful for a lot of things that I've been through. I'm thankful for Sir Manoj, who made me appreciate physical walks more than the theoretical ones. I'm thankful for Sir Christensen, who loves teaching the subject he loves, history. I'm thankful for Sir Azmatullah and Sir Murkapan, for being concerned about how many weddings I was attending this year. I'm thankful for Sir Nisar allowing us to leave early and concentrate on physical education. I'm thankful for Ms. Wifaq, Ms. Ghada, and Sir Imran for never giving up on us. I'm thankful for Sir Shabin, Sir Hussain, Ms. Chiki, and Sir Mustafa, who made us the volleyball stars that we are today. I'm thankful for the support staff who made our class look like Bakr was absent that day. I'm thankful for cold chocolate milk being a thing, and the list goes on. If I were to write it all, we'd be here till the end of summer. So as closing remarks, I just want to say that the memories we made this year and the years before should not be the best memories of your life. I want all of you to leave today and make memories so happy and so great that if the memories that I discussed about before, their sole job was to make a shelf for your new ones, they would fail the way. so that one day when I meet you all down the road, we would have some amazing stories to talk about.
Dear parents, teachers, faculty members, and of course, the special guests of today, my fellow graduates, I would like to take this opportunity to firstly do the necessary introduction by addressing myself. My name is Maimouna Abdullah, and as of today, I take pride and honor in knowing that I get to finally better introduce myself as a graduate of the batch of the year 2020 at Elaine Junior School. Before I further continue with the rest of my speech for our graduation ceremony of 2020, I just want to say aloud a few thoughts that crossed my mind prior to actually writing this very same speech. So I was very anxious about writing anything at all, as I felt overwhelmed of being unable to replicate my thoughts into coherent sentences. But then, as I kept thinking on and on about it, something occurred to me that made everything else fall into place. And I said to myself, Maimouna, it's not just about what you take along with you. Some of it is also about what you leave behind. And on that note, I dedicate this speech to each and every one of you. Firstly, I dedicate this to my fellow graduates. Class of 2020, we might not have the chance to be within each other's presence or to be together to celebrate the way we had imagined, unfortunately. But what we do have is one of the most historic graduations taking place. So take pride in knowing that you are the graduates of 2020. I thank God every day that I made it to my class on the first day of school when I came here to Elaine Juniors, because it was then and it was there in that class that I met my people. Also very grateful because I was lost on my first day of school, yes. But I became friends with the people who were to change me and my life. Change me by making me dress up to impersonate one of our teachers on Teacher's Day, or just change me for the better, I guess both counts. Taking part in competitions last minute, trying to feel better that we ended up second last and not dead last, that too counts. Pulling pranks as a whole batch every alternate day for something different, that too counts. Getting scolded in the middle of the corridor or right in front of the library where everybody's watching. I'm sure most of you are witnesses of that. So yes, that too counts. So based on all these events, we've hopefully changed, and it's all because of the same people today that I've gotten to enjoy some of the best years of my life. So thank you to my friends for being there through thick and thin for me, and of course, for always getting me chocolate milk from the canteen. Secondly, I dedicate this to all the dear parents. My own parents once themselves told me something. They said, parents are one's most sincere well-wishers, most sincere. And hearing that, I realized that no matter what, it is always our parents who have our back. They would be the last ones standing for us no matter what, who kneel down for us to carry our weight so that we can step higher, who raised us by building a solid foundation for us to become who we have become. I would like to sincerely thank all the parents watching this for all the sacrifices that they've made. I hope you're proud of us today as we graduate as the class of 2020 with our heads held high. Last but certainly not least, I dedicate this to all the teachers. The people who gave us the wings to freedom, the people who showed us what it is to soar higher than ever. I mean, I have been educated on many things, from languages to sciences, but I have also been educated on right and wrong. Teachers all the way from my kindergarten to my senior year, I thank each and every single one of you, regardless of whatever subject you taught me. Also, thank you for the free food and the therapy sessions. Where would we be without them? We owe you a lot, truly. Also, to the support staff and the faculty members, I thank you too, for always being the backbone of such programs. Thank you for making this graduation event possible. Now, to wrap this speech up, I would like to wholeheartedly congratulate all of you in batch 2020. You have put in your blood, sweat, and tears to see the light of this day. Trust me, I know. But remember, there will be times in your life when you question your own decisions, much like I do every hour, every second. Whether it be about your major or your profession, whether you have the right choice, whether you're doing well or walking the path of failure. And when you do question these things, remember, you are the leader of your own life. If there's anyone out there who cannot see where they should go from here forth, I urge you to listen to your heart. Things may feel a little difficult right now, but somewhere out there, opportunities await. I believe that every small person can make the biggest dream, paint the largest picture, and make endless possibilities come true. So take your hands off of what you can't control and get your hands on what you can change. Boys of the batch of 2020, you can always be so much more than a collective personification of a choo-choo train. And girls of batch 2020, you can always do so much more than a daily song cover of I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys. So go get your hands on the changes you can make, because your possibilities are limitless. Once again, congratulations batch of 2020, we've done it. Thank you.
This was written prior to the conclusion of the cleaning program, yet bear in mind that the virus is still prevalent and for all practical purposes, the quarantine is still very much there. This is exactly why I'm making this intro, and not because I wrote this speech in 4 days with 4 attempts and I am not willing to write a 5th. Nuh-uh. This speech, like the others, is supposed to be one of reflection on what we've went through to bring us to where we are. Though that's all well and dandy, having 5 speakers talking about their experiences would get a tad bit boring. So let me finish also quite quickly and move on. It all started way back when it was all black. Nothing to see, nothing to touch. Then the doctor, too far back? Okay. I studied my hardest, participated in events and things that helped push me forward and made me better at different aspects of education and academic stuff. Then came grades 10, 11, and 12, where everything took a back seat. Done. Now that the status quo has been filled and I've done what I was supposed to do, let's get down to business. This is what I would always do with regards to everything. Get done what has been asked of me quickly, doing the bare minimum for it to be successful enough. Just quickly do it as properly as possible so I can finish and say done and move on. That was me since kindergarten till 12th grade, till the quarantine. I would like to deviate from the rest to instead reflect upon and shed light on some things regarding this quarantine. It took me a long while to get out of it. Just hearing if it pass, it's okay, and not getting any real ideas on how to overcome it was the main reason it took so long. So that's what I want to address. Let's get the usual quarantine formalities out of the way as well. It's sad how unfortunate we won't even get to graduate, online graduation, yada yada, several situation, okay. Out of the system? Done? Great. I personally learned a lot this quarantine. But the most important lesson of all was growth. Real growth. Not, oh, look at my muscles. Look at the amount of paragraphs I've memorized from my books. Look at the answers I can solve on this sheet of paper and how quickly I can solve them. I can say I've never grown more than this last while. It's not the sort of growth that is merely just about getting bigger with age either. It's about becoming better at something as time goes on. Better at a sport, better at education, or just simply better at living. Growth that, until all the formalities were wiped out of the way, I didn't even know was a thing. What I finally come to understand under the effects of this quarantine, and especially with the disappearance of final examinations, is that life in actuality isn't just all about studying and understanding words and learning definitions and formulas for a test, physics. It's actually just time, and time just passes. As with all vacations, the need to wake up for school is not there, but somehow something feels missing. That's been the case for 3 months and some change by now. During these 3 months, I've successfully learned nothing from what I've said, absolutely nothing. They've been a daunting 3 months in fact, experiencing the 5 stages of grief, mine's the last, multiple times over, and just simply not having the best time all around. However, all of those things weren't lies, but they all came around a time I could call when I beat myself, and the time I grew. Hopefully, most of us. Nowadays, all of us have now more or less the same blueprint for our daily lives. Wake up, spend time, be at home. Visit the fridge a couple times, be at home. Have a staying competition with the bed, be at home. Spend some more time, finally go to sleep, hopefully at home. All the while rotating between different devices and different screens to keep us having something to do. Productive or not, different screens and devices are mostly what any of us use nowadays. Sports and physical activities have become a borderline impossibility. Whoever had books at home, aside from school books, has probably read them all twice by now. Being around people has even become a criminal offense punishable by a 2-week house arrest. Until all the symptoms have cleared out, hopefully. Saying everything that's happened so far would take away too much time. So here are some things I took note of that have helped me and are there for whoever was like me and needed an idea how to get past this abnormal situation. Shinkahab. What has surprised me took a while to realize is start what normal you would never do. Start doing the things you found stupid and dumb, and who in their right minds would do this? Because if other people do it, there's definitely a reason behind it. No matter how minor. Among things, I've started watching shows and playing games of genres I normally wouldn't, and found amazing worlds, filled with captivating stories and enchanting character in both mediums. Additionally, there are hobbies, although very cliche and would always have me complaining, yeah, I know, hobbies. I have reading and volleyball and that's enough for me. But now, I've decided to start up taking random dumb things to just try out, and surprised me thus far, one of them became a hobby. It probably is having or will have a cameo in this graduation. Please don't stare at my screen now. Please don't stare, please. Thank you. Another route for hobbies is instead of acquiring a new one, just level up an existing one. I've personally taken my reading and I'm now watching video essays of books, shows, movies on YouTube. Like what makes certain aspects of certain movies brilliant. Why Shrek 2 is the perfect sequel is not something I've watched. Picking up a random skill is always something I've dubbed dumb and unnecessary, as I've always thought. Whenever I need a skill, I learn it. Why learn something I'm not sure I'll use? And that's another dumb thing I'm currently trying to do. In conclusion, this lockdown has caused the halt in the flipping of our life's pages, giving us time before we turn to a new chapter. So while that's happening, why not revise and make sure that the chapter we finish is as spotless and as refined as possible? For example, my newest entry, which highlights all of this, is a single page with 3 words written in huge text in the center. Perspective is everything. This just doesn't go for quarantine, or even just after. The growth and lessons from it should continue even after things return to a new normal for all of us. Thank you.
Good evening, esteemed guests, teachers, and my fellow classmates. We are finally graduating. If I were to pick one word to describe our batch perfectly, it would be unique. We've always tried to stand out, be it with our achievements, our events, or just our senior jacket. It's quite ironic that after all of that hue and cry about being unique, here we are. When I was given the opportunity to speak at graduation, it was quite exciting. I sat down trying to figure out what to say. Should I go with the usual bit where I talk about high school and how you get through it, or do I take a different approach? Because at the end of the day, we're all sitting here today having made it. So let's take a step back and breathe it all in. All those sleepless nights, those caffeine-driven days, and not to mention having to stand in those assemblies after pulling an all-nighter towards the new season of a show. Because there is no way that you're going to be the one who doesn't know who killed Bryce Walker. It feels like only yesterday, I was nervous about my first day in grade 7. Walking in and seeing a bunch of familiar faces and a few new ones. Little did I know, I was going to make the best memories with these slightly confused looking set of kids. We've all faced many challenges, be it in academics, sports days, or getting scolded the first time, or the second, or the third, then finally realizing that I might be the problem. Those challenges shaped us into the people that we are today. As Bear Grylls would say, we have improvised, adapted, and overcome. We're all headed to universities to start the next cycle of our lives. And looking at this empty hall in front of me, imagining if you guys were here, all I can say is the world isn't going to know what hit. This new phase in our lives is unpredictable. We have been preparing for it for the past whatsoever years. Just looking back, I went from one group of friends to the other till I found the perfect one. It's not important to fit into a niche right away. I made some friends just last year that I would want to remember for the rest of my life. I never thought I would say this, but I'm actually going to miss Egypt. The terrible canteen food, the noisy library, and the sanctuary that Camel Lab turned out to be. I'll miss walking into a class of dancing students every morning and joining them. I will not, however, miss finding out about a test the morning of and figuring out that Sir Manoj was just kidding. I would like to thank everyone who's helped me in this journey so far. I would like to thank Ms. Vijayalakshmi, Ms. Sharmila for answering my out-of-syllabus questions. I would like to thank Sir Mustafa, Sir Shabin, Sir Hussain, and Ms. Chiki for making the indestructible volleyball team that we are today. Shukran, Ms. Wifaq, Ms. Gada, wa Sir Imran. Mumkin Azhar Bilal Hamam, I'm sorry, that's the only Arabic I know. Thank you for making sure I learned something new every day. Thank you, Sir Mugappan, for making sure I don't fall behind. We all know that wasn't easy. Thank you, Ms. Bensi, for being there to help any time of the day. thank you, Sir Manoj, for your words of encouragement and your analogies about Mr. Shah Rukh Khan. Thank you, Sir Kristen, for not kicking me out of the chem lab for picking at your brain during your coffee break. Basically, I would like to thank everyone for understanding that we're a bunch of immature kids with a lot to learn and giving us that chance. Dear graduating class of 2020, it has been said that you're a collection of your past experiences. Therefore, all the time you've spent in school has made you who you are today. And just because things are a little bit different this year doesn't mean that all the memories that you made will just fade away. You see, graduation isn't defined by a sheet of paper, a stage, or a hat. Graduation is defined by your journey. As long as you've learned from it and made some unforgettable stories along the way, you're ready for the next step. Now, this would have been the time where I would look across the hall with a look of reminiscence, but since that's not happening, this is it. I wish you all the best and hope to see you in the future, inshallah. Thank you.